Kyrie,
What's up?
drop some dope on these.
Yo, what's going on? NPC the Game Live. Good afternoon, good evening, and good day to you. It's 10:46 a.m. February 20th. It's the February 20th, yeah, 2025. Here in coming to you live from Taiwan, District 13, the real Shaolin. Good to see you. Good to see you, people. Beautiful people. What's up, Ozzy? First out the gate. What's going on, Bex? Yeah. Miss Alexander, wonderful, wonderful broadcast. Changed my paradigm. I'm going to hardcore, looking at not only astrology, my natal chart, and others around me, but my opinions on things, on life. Because I mean, we all have opinions, right? Shout out to the great Rezla for his opinionated broadcast. This is my opinion I'm about to share. We all do it, but this is just consciously going to share these things that have been on my mind that are constantly in flux. The more I think about these things, it's like, damn. Now this is say something about me, my personality. Depending who I'm talking to, a lot of people make a good case to strengthen my opinion or change it or torque it, because in the end, these opinions serve us in order to navigate this reality we're living in, right? What up, OTW in the house? Yes, sir. Definitely motivating me to strive for bigger and better things. 2025, year of the snake. Positivity, and negativity when needed. There's a season for everything. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on? What's really going on? To the locksmith, Jeremy, my brother, right? Yeah. And Shadow Buddha, the twin. Couldn't do it without you. Crazy mama. As Jeremy says, the sexy one. Or and Jeremy's the freaky one, as she says. Yeah, shout out to everybody. What's up, Bex? Good to see you. Yeah. So let's get this party started. Let's get this thing started. Our opinions, and share your opinions in the chat, So this is my opinion. Shout out to Mac Mall. I was in high school in 93 when that came out, sophomore year. This is my opinion. Mike Mallman, and this is my opinion. Yeah, what's my opinion? What's my opinion on these things? All right. We'll start off the gate with the hot topic, abortion. What's my opinion on abortion? Well, all right, try off the bat. Now, I'm giving you what I believe, right? Saturn Mercury, what I believe. I believe that abortion should not be used as contraceptive. Definitely not used, because some folks, and be transparent, myself, have used these things as contraceptive, right? When in fact, being mindful of your sexual experiences could put you in a spot where you wouldn't even think about going there. So abortion is wrong. It takes away life, especially when, for contraceptive purposes. Now, with that said, I have to say, there are times medically when abortion is a feasible option, right? I mean, you got to be careful with this because it's killing a life. My opinion that life begins at conception, at least at conception, because you're probably floating around this thing we call Earth in as a ephemeral, ethereal spirit or being or soul before you drop down in your father's nutsack in order to be released into your mother's egg, right? Making that journey. So, but we'll say for the sake of this discussion, conception begins at life. That's my opinion, right? Maybe it's the absolute. We shall see. I used to run in absolutes a lot, right? Especially this Tuesday broadcast scheduling. My crew, we always used to talk in the absolutes and whatnot. But yeah. Hey, 5 people left. Cool. Happy for the 5 people that are here. Oh, 4 people. Great. But yeah, abortion is, in my opinion, is wrong in a sense, used as conception. I mean, as conception. Did I say that? Contraceptive. Contraception. Shit. Yeah. But in terms of, there's sometimes when it needs to be used as a medical procedure in order to save the life of the mother due to complications, or if, as they say, the baby is not conducive to life. I've talked about that. We've experienced that in my family. Shout out to Angel up there in heaven. You know, yeah, that's my opinion. It runs people off, yeah, and they come back again. Yeah. What do you think about abortion? If you want to share, feel free to share your opinion on that thing. Right. Next, religion. Religion. What's going on with religion? Religion is something that is here to give people moral guidance and guidance in general, right? This world is an interesting place and can be it's a scary place at times too, when you have no guidelines or boundaries to live by. And religion definitely gives people context and a direction to live their life. And I think religion in general is good. Yeah, it's good. What do I mean by religion? I mean your philosophy of life, right? Your standards of life, right? Now, when we say religion, we usually mean, most of us usually mean religious systems. For example, the big 3: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, right? And also Buddhism, 4, right? But yeah, those are philosophies of life that millions of people, billions of people have decided to partake in and identify in. And that's fine. If they want to do that, that's good. Like I said, it gives some people a moral code, for example. It gives them purpose, helps them find their purpose, hopefully, right? But a lot of times in those big 3, it's worshiping the monotheistic God, the supreme being, right? And it has been used to this day under nefarious reasons, not good reasons, right? To wage wars and subjugate people and whatnot. Slavery was used, right? In America, Christianity was. But however, that same religion has liberated people too. The Nation of Islam cleaned people up. The great Malcolm X, from being the crook, Detroit Red, cleaned him up and gave him purpose, right? So I understand how people are saying, they say fuck religion, especially the systematic religions, the big 3 and whatnot, because people have used that as mind control. You know, the social engineers in those systems have used that as mind control the devotees, and that's wrong. With that said, though, people have gotten a lot of good use even out of religion. So religion, do your thing. Just don't impose it on people. Easier said than done. I get it. Out here in Taiwan, more people want to most of the people who are Christian out here, because there are a lot of Christians, once they found out that you were a Christian or you're a Westerner, they really want you to do fellowship with them and check out their church and join it, which is cool. They're excited. I get it. People are the same way about conspiracy theories. Well, we'll talk about later that when they get excited about quote unquote waking people up, um, they want to do outreach with people and convert them, you know, evangelize it and whatnot. So, hey, thanks for the Shema for that. It's really fun topics, cool topics, right? Yeah, people want to evangelize with conspiracy theories, whatever, right? Even TV shows that they like, they want you to get you to watch it. Like I was trying to get my coworker to watch The Wire and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, religion is cool. I give it the big thumbs up. And if people want to argue over it, see, it's funny to me. My opinion too on it is when people argue over the shit on online in the Panelverse, it's weird to me, man. It's strange. It's some weirdo, goofy shit. A lot of the times. Um, don't get me wrong. There's some interesting discussions can come out of it and points and aha moments, but it's kind of funny to argue about religion. Either two different religions arguing, sometimes three at the same time on a panel, or like Christians arguing with other Christians, for example, as who does the Christian program better? You know, because these are all operating systems in our organic, biological, human computer, supercomputer, right? These are programs we're running, right? Christianity 3.0, Islam 3.0, New Age, occultism 3.0, right? So you're arguing over operating systems. What do you like better, Google? Excuse me, what is that? Chrome or Safari? Man, you're banging over that. That's why it's funny to me. Yeah, very funny. What is this? Yeah, Buddhism right there, the shadow Buddha. Buddhism's an interesting thing, religion, because it's not really a religion in a lot of sense. It's a way of life. Like all these things are a way of life, these operating systems and whatnot. But it's a way of life that it's it doesn't even seem like a religion because you're so caught up in thinking. It's very cerebral. You know, a lot of thinking goes on about the mind in Buddhism. The best way to think, which is the best way to be. I like it. I like all the religions though. I mean, dude, we even did a broadcast about the Satanic Bible, which was interesting, and comparing it to the 13 ways that humans should live in the Satanic Bible versus the Ten Commandments. And there was some overlap, and also some things the Satanic Bible got right that the actual Ten Commandments didn't get right. Interesting enough. But so you can learn from it. You can learn from all these systems of knowledge if you have the right integral personality, and you can integrate these things. Uh, Miss Alexander, Malcolm X is one of the most alive people I've ever read about. Yeah, man, that autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley, which some have said like, you know, that's a just like Roots that he wrote. Alex Haley, it's some psyops going on there. Whatever it is, though, it's a great narrative of transformation. Scorpio, deep transformation of a man who was a genius in school, who was talked down to by his teacher, saying he couldn't do shit because he was black, became a hustler on the streets of New York and Boston, Detroit Red, and in New York and Boston, and pimped, steep number runner, and then went hit ground zero, heroin addict, and cleaned himself up in prison with the Nation of Islam, and became probably the other than James Brown and my son Benjamin, one of the greatest Tauruses to ever live. right? You know, a producer of knowledge. Uh, he lived it. He breathed knowledge of self, right? And then he went and then transformation and changed his operating system a little bit and went to Sunni Islam from the Nation of Islam, and then he was killed allegedly. You know, only to live again in the hearts of the people that know. Thanks for bringing Malcolm up. 9 plus 25 watching. Okay, here we go. uh, Taoism is great too. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. Taoism is great. When I think of Taoism, I think of observing nature as a way to operate as your operating system. Observing nature, right? Looking at the birds and how they build their nest and how they only take certain needles and debris to make their nest and how they're efficient and they tread lightly when they do it. That's cool. It's natural, right? It's natural. We'll get back to that Taoism. Shadow Buddha with a comment. At NPC, also the Archon of Buddhism theory we came up with on their other broadcast too. Yeah, that was dope. The Buddhism led us to that. So we're integrating Gnosticism, Christian Gnosticism, prison planet theory about how we may be trapped in this prison planet called Earth as a way to harvest our souls to this false god called the Demiurge. And he uses his managers, the 12 zodiac signs, for example, the archons, to hold us down, have us in color code lockdown here on Earth. So when you quote unquote die, when it said that you go to the light, that's actually a recycling center for your soul, right? And these archons, and we brought it to the Buddhist mythology of the devas, the angels that watch us and get nourishment and excitement and joy and energy from us, you know, in the Buddhist mythology, the devas, how they could be just another name for the archons. Yeah, Shadow and I have been working on that theory, having fun with that for a minute, you know? And in the end, hopefully these theories help you pay attention to what's going on here and now here on Earth. These big picture theories, right? As above, so below. What happens up there happens down there. So if those devas, aka the archons, are doing that up there, what are we doing here? And why are they watching us? If we believe that narrative, this be pretty special here, even in the so-called mundane reality, mundane going to work on the grind on your job just over broke reality. There's something special going on. See, religion is cool when you can be fluid with it and express it in different ways and whatnot. You know. Shout out to the master creator, bro. Absolutely. This is my opinion, Mac Mall. Yeah, bro. Master creator 23. The dub tray. The dub tresa. Yeah. Mac Mall, man. He showed me that was my religion for a minute. Bay Area hip hop, Bay Area, the gangster Mac, no, not even gang, well, Mac Mall, like Mackin, bro. The most important thing was to get those numbers before the smartphones, right? Didn't pound out to much success in terms of hooking up with a lot of these young ladies, but it was fun, right? Mac Mall, for sure, bro. Much love, Master Creator. I love you, bro. Beck, same. Oh, yeah, Taoism is great. Yeah. Master Creator, what's up, cuz? Shadow Beck. Chilling, listening to this good game. Yeah, man. I learned from watching y'all, man. Learning from I was talking about Master Creator. We were talking about the N word the other day. About like how this guy, Master Creator, this young man, he grew up in one of the toughest, not toughest, most synchronicity driven, even poverty driven, game driven, real life areas in not only Northern California but California in general, up in the twamps over there, right? Murdered doves, and we're talking about the N word and how there's a lot of people who quote unquote aren't black that say, you know, the N word, and I'm thinking like, and they get pushed back, and I'm thinking like, in the three years I've been blessed to know Master Creator, I've never heard him say that, and I'm assuming that probably when he was younger he may have said that and shit with his homies and whatnot, and you know, with the gang and shit, bro, but he never says that, and I don't know. I think that's cool, man. I mean, even if he did say it, I don't give a fuck. That's my nigga. That is my nigga, man. He's a melanated motherfucker from Laos. I mean, his genetics. He's from Oakland though. He's an American, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting about Master Creator bringing that up. You know, while there's other people who didn't grow up in the same type of circumstance that use that word freely, still to this day. So it's that aren't even melanated, but shout out to Master Creator, bro. All these friends that I've been blessed to meet are great. Yeah. My ninja, my ninja. Yeah, I heard that, man. Yeah. My ninja. What's the next topic? So, okay, we talking about, oh, religion, right? So my opinion on Trump, right? This is my opinion. This is my opinion. My opinion on Trump is his son Barron is gonna be, I'm foreshadowing now, the new chairman of the first chairman of the New World Order, right? That dude right there. But that's and maybe Benjamin will be working as a as a vice chairman or something. We shall see. But yeah, Trump, I think he's an interesting dude. I think he's arrogant. I think he's, you know, I mean, just like most people, he don't know shit. With that said, I think he's the most dynamic president I ever seen, and polarizing figure I've ever seen. I never seen somebody get so much hate yet has so many supporters still, right? I personally enjoy President Trump as the president. However, I know everything he says, that shit ain't gonna get done. Well, maybe I'm wrong though, because it does seem like a lot of people have been deported in the United States, my country, already from his executive orders. A lot of people have lost jobs in the federal government all over the world under the Doge, Elon Musk, which we'll talk about later. You know, government efficiency department, the new department that Musk heads. Trump is a businessman that's gone through cycles of extreme ups and wealth and extreme downward, you know, negative millions, right? Now he made billions, hundreds of millions off that shit coin he had recently. Him and Melania when he became president. I think he's definitely down with nepotism. And I think he's learning a little bit better than last term that he served, and not putting his like immediate family in those positions like he did, like Ivanka and Jared Kushner, you know? But he's definitely always put his friends out, looks out for his friends. He looks out for his friends. I've never heard him say any racial slurs about anybody. He's a polarizing figure, and I think that the president, in my opinion, the president's an actor, more or less, and he's there as a scapegoat and a target for everyone's love and hatred. So the majority of people don't focus on the real hand behind the scene, the black hand behind the scene, the deep state, as they say, that's running the government, that's been running the government no matter who's the president. And he makes this shit exciting. This, I call it Masonic sorcerer theater that we're witnessing. The stage in geopolitical domestic affairs. Definitely makes it interesting. And my wife hates them. Yeah, definitely, definitely hates them. Uh, the USCCB, U.S. Catholic Church, is now trying to sue him over halting refugee funding. Wow. Okay. Yeah, is that for the aid, U.S. AIDS? Yeah, that's a shame because there's a lot of good that charity does do. Catholic Church does some fucked up shit. Speaking of religion, they've had done fucked up shit, molestations. I've I've been in parishes and went to schools where those priests have done that to people. We think we talked about it last broadcast with Miss Alexander and Special K. But they do some good too in terms of that the refugee help and whatnot. Yeah, Masonic sorcery theory is a good way to describe it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to Aeolus Cephas, my old master teacher, yeah, for lacing me with that, and I'm making it even better. Right, masonry is everywhere. Masonry, Jewish mysticism, occult mysticism, which they probably got from Egypt, the pharaohs and whatnot, the Egyptian priests, which they got from the Cushites, the original people, right? Area right there in Africa. The most beautiful wildlife reserve, the home of my father, who was families from Mali, Africa, West Africa, and they ended up migrating all the way to Swaziland, Southeast Africa, right? Only to come to America. So, not a fan of the Catholic Church. Yeah, yeah, I heard that. Yeah. So let's go where we at now. So Trump, um, thumbs up from me. However, he ain't doing shit. But just like any president, I don't. Yeah, yeah. He's been doing some fucked up shit though too. Don't get it twisted. I can see both sides of it. Right. Next topic: gays, aka LGBT, LGB. What is it? LGBTQ. Maybe they dropped the Q recently. I, the way I used to think this is that it's unnatural to be homosexual. Um, but then, the more I think about it, I think that like people are, and this is me, I'm not a quote unquote official scientist, I'm a street scientist. I think that my opinion is that people are born like that sometimes, right? And they embrace it. Sometimes they embrace it from an early age or outward stimuli from their environment can bring that out of them even more. Or people aren't born like that, and they're a product of their environment, and they become and the stimuli, and they become gay, right? And that's my opinion. Um, yeah, that's it. It's nothing. It is nothing. I don't really think about it that much, but I I go. It goes with the whole nature versus nurture thing too. I think both those things affect people, and especially with this too. People are probably innately born like that. Maybe something went on in the mother's womb when they were pregnant for those things to manifest, or if you want to go like metaphysical, maybe that was their destiny. I've heard people say something like that believe in reincarnation that if they were like a woman, for example, in their past life and then their most current past life, and for whatever reason they were still holding on to that um, incarnation when they were born here, that and then if they were born gender wise as a male, that those tendencies, those feminine tendencies, will come out more, as in terms of being gay. Yeah. I mean, these are all theories. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So that's the deal on that, right? Race, race. What do I think about race? Shit, I think race was in more recent history propagated by old European dudes and American dudes, white dudes, you could say, in the 1800s, right, 1700s, as a promotional tour because those certain men they felt inferior and desperate about their place in the world and how there was like seemed to be way more original people, aka melanated people here on Earth than them, and they felt desperate, so they had to find stuff like chronology where they measure the bumps on your head to as to classify your race and your intelligence and your and your civilization capacity to be civil, right? Um, Maybe they got some stuff from the Hindus, right? Caste system, race. I believe that there's the human race, right? This is why we're all here and able to talk to each other because we're all human. Now, they got four people left. Wow, there's only four people left. Okay, but appreciate the people that are here. Um, Race, huh? Yeah, one of the most interesting things about theories about race and not origin stories is the one where, because you hear about the out of Africa theory where the oldest bones were found in Africa, and then like people all humans came from Africa. Lucy, right? Lucy in the sky with diamonds. That's where they found the body in Africa, and yeah, okay. If you're going with that theory, all I believe that all people originally came from the melanated people, or aka the original people. You want to call them black people now, right? And then we went from there. I think that the most provocative and interesting and sexy origin story is the fact that all there was at one time were melanated people, and through not through weather patterns or ice ages or anything like that, but through genetic manipulation, all the other races were created red, yellow, white, right? That's interesting. I think that's a fascinating theory. And then when you get into dominant and recessive genes and Mendelian theory, can go with that, you know. But even if that's the case, if white people were the last quote unquote made mankind, right, and then yellow people, Asians, and then red people, right, Indians, and then which came from the black quote unquote melanated people, original people. Even if that's the case, all those races are still human in the sense that they come from humans, right? We're all one on this human family we're living in right now. You know, we in this thing for sure. Yeah, we in this thing now, right? Yeah, Master Creator, Miss Alexander. Original slaves came from the Slavic people, so the right Slavic slaves. I get it. Yeah, and yes, caste system wasn't originally based on skin color, but spiritual, uh, involve, spiritual evolvement, right? Aura colors. I've seen that before, right? Dr. Phil Valentine's talked about that. Like some people were green and red and like coal black. Like you see the people in the Sudan, for example. And it did represent states of consciousness and enlightenment. Even see here in Taiwan the god Matsu, their goddess, who is their god actually. They go back and forth calling it a god and goddess, but I think it's a woman, right? She's black. They want to say it's because of the incense over the years that have blackened the statue. But I've seen those straight out the factory and they're black. But then they got some other ones that are blue and red, right, and green versions of her and the other gods. And I asked the Taoist Buddhist priests, because it's a combination of Taoism, Buddhism, and Chinese folk religion here in Taiwan at the temples. I asked them about it, and they said, yeah, those are the different aspects in enlightenment tiers that have to do with the color, right? So yeah, I'm sure humans is based on humans were like that too, right? race. I heard people say nowadays race is a construct, right? But it's real enough, and also too, it's more about now about culture, which is more of a way people are segmented and divided, not so much by race and culture. Let's see. Master Creator 23, race and culture is a tool used to divide and conquer. The rich is getting richer as long as we believe in those ideas. Yeah, it could be. I could see it as a form of divide and conquer and control. Look up the Willie Lynch letters, which was like supposedly the manual on how to subjugate and brainwash and control slaves, black slaves. You know, we said Slavics for sure, but in terms of the colloquial language, I'll just say it's slaves, American slaves, um, in America, right? And now people have said that debunked that the Willie Lynch letters was actually made up years later. But the fact is, when you look at what they were saying in the Willie Lynch letters, it which was supposed to be a manual for how slave owners are supposed to handle their slaves to break them, right? It matches up from what we know happened in real life, you know, historically. And yeah, race and culture. The great Terrence McKenna, the psychedelic maverick, said, "Culture is not your friend." Right? Culture, you would say, culture is not your friend, right? Because culture can lead you down these places where you're so closed-minded because all you think about is that culture, which is an operating system in itself, right? That you run. I'm running Hinduism 102. I'm running Bay, Bay Area Mexican American Blaxican 3.0, right? These are all cultures. These are cultures, right? It's not your friend. It can get you caught up in some bullshit. But I'll add this caveat. It's not your friend until it is your friend, meaning that once you realize that it's an operating system, fuck it, have fun with it. Honor your culture. Celebrate Christmas in your way. Uh, Go to church. Go to sideshows, because that's a culture too. East Oakland hyphy culture, right? On the flatlands. Like, honor it. Right. Once you realize it's all you're doing is flipping through operating systems. That's what culture is, in my opinion. Cult. A cult. Shout out to NPC Leopard Print. That's my girl. Yeah. Good to see you. You're a winner. You're a winner. Don't ever forget that. Okay. Yeah. The cult. Yeah. What cult are you in? Are you in the cult of personality? Yeah. So what's that? Race, right? Race is an interesting thing. Reparations. Shout out to Marathon Kev. Got my hand out. Shout out to Marathon Kev in the reparations department. He brought up a good discussion. Him and Alex were having the Discord. It got very heated and personal. And yeah, say that. Yeah, reparations. What is reparations? Reparations are Black Americans, African Americans getting families getting compensation from the gain that was profited off their backs, their ancestors' backs, here and now, from the people that have, that are still profiting from them. I think a Marathon Kid used the term legacy companies or legacy families, right? That are still to this day profiting off of that. I believe those people really should um, get their due diligence, get their just dessert, right? Hey man, why not? Right? My family's not part of that. My family, if they were slaves, they would have been slaves in Africa. That shit happened in Africa too. Uh, from Africans selling Africans, right? But also whites selling Africans there too. But Yeah, even though I wouldn't get anything off of that. I'll support the people the families that deserve that, right? With that said, I don't really think, just like I don't think people should, this is my opinion on welfare too. I don't think you should rely on welfare and social security or reparations as a way, as your number one source of income. Because in the meantime, you got to be, you got to get up, get out, and get something. You got to take care of business here and now. There's plenty of opportunities here in America, especially, even though it's tough to get shit done. What's going on, Snow? Sherelle Snow in the house. Sherelle. Where am I? Oh, yeah. I'm on the wrong chat. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, so reparations, give them to those people, right? That deserve them, the family. However, keep working hard, man. Don't rely on that. Don't rely on that alone. You know, this is my opinion. You got off work, good. You're here. You're here now. It's a treat. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah. What else we got? Oh, we got 47. Mm-hmm. Waiting for this shit to come around so I can read it. Oh, reparations. Okay, interracial relationships. Yeah, what's my opinion on that? I'm a proponent of interracial relationships, just like I'm a proponent of non-interracial relationships, meaning that if you love somebody, right? I'm a product of interracial relationships, right? Yeah, go for it. My son's a product of an interracial relationship. It was the last race that I didn't have on my genetics the Asian race, right? We had the Spanish, the European, we had the African, right? We had um, yeah, we had everything, bro. Yeah. But now we have Asian, you know. So shout out to the interracial relationships out there. But just know it does come with some challenges, right? The interracial relationships definitely come with some challenges. Your especially your older folks, right? Some older folks they're still living in that old paradigm where people were separated. They may be liberal about a lot of stuff, you know. If we talk about LGBT, immigrants, all that. But when it comes to interracial relations, some people aren't budging. The older folks, those real boomers. But that's okay. Sometimes that shit changes. Like I'm sure my grandma was like that. I know she was like that before I was born. She didn't want my mom being with no African dude, right? My mom being Spanish, Irish, and Scotch Irish, and Mexican, right? But hey, my grandma changed her tune, and she loved me with all her heart, and is open minded to the black experience. To spending time with somebody. Funny how that shit happens for a lot of us. We have these strong opinions on, like I said, LGBTQ or race, or politics. When you actually talk to somebody, doesn't mean that necessarily you will change your core belief, but at least you'll treat that person like a human, as they are. Right? Yeah. 3 inches of snow, damn, that's a lot. So yeah, yeah. So interracial relationship comes with a caveat, right? It ain't gonna be easy all the time, right? But then it's gonna be good. But it's gonna be good too because it's gonna open you up to a whole new paradigm if you're not used to it. You know, any real comment from Master Creator 23. Any real relationship is going to come with challenges. It's hard to merge, to separate consciousness together to what you guys call both agree on. Yeah, every relationship does, definitely does. Yeah, and they all have the ups and downs, man. Men and women, they're different. We're different. That's my opinion. Maybe that's even the absolute. I'll go like men and women are very different.
Yet they have common goals a lot of the time, and that's what you want with a partnership, right? But yeah, but with that said, there is a specific challenges too with interracial relationships too. Yeah. Especially with a lot of closed-minded people around us sometimes. Remember the Donovan Sharp, the Manosphere content creator, black man, he said, you heard that thing, once you go black, you don't go back, they say, because black man be putting it down, man. Right? But he was saying that his opinion, and then it may not be necessarily that's the reason why they don't go back. The reason they might not go back to dating in their own race is because sometimes the race that they are, be it white or Asian, for example, there's a lot of their community is so close minded that they won't accept them to go back. You know, some people are close minded. They're like, "Ooh, you was a black guy to a white girl. I don't want to. I don't want to be with you ever again." And it happens too in the black community too. Some black women might be like, "Oh, you were with a white girl or an Asian girl? Oh, I'm good," or whatever, right? So that's what Donovan Sharp is saying. The whole thing about once she goes black, she don't go back. It may not be by choice, right? But with that said, that's still dealing with the outer, right? The other people, right? Libra, the other, right? That's something that person, that bigoted person closed-minded person needs to work on. And hopefully maybe you can learn something from them and maybe have compassion towards them that way, even though they're not having the most compassion towards you in your relationship, right? You can see it as a learning lesson, you know, or something like that, right? Yeah. Master creators laugh. Yeah, interracial relationships, man. There is something very sexy when you see like a light skin tone with a dark skin tone. Yeah. Like laying on top of the skin on top of each other, legs wrapped around like a snake, since we're in Year of the Snake, you know? That is pretty sexy. Um I Yeah, love. Okay, love. Love is love. Love is love. Right? A lot of people on their deathbed, they can be the most staunch conservative or the most um scientific person, but when it comes to their last breaths on earth, they realize that a lot of them it's all about love. It's always has been about love, right? Love. You love who you love. That goes down to the interracial relationship stuff. You love who and what you love, right? When we talk about love, we usually only talk about one type of love in the West. We're talking about that romantic love or lustful love, right? But supposedly there's all kinds of different forms of love, right? There's all kinds of different forms of love. You love what you love. Yeah, mixed babies are cute. Yeah, I think they are very cute. Yeah, maybe I'm biased. There's a mixed baby for you. There's a mixed baby that that became that. That's now that. Yeah, mixed baby. Shout out to the mixed babies out there, huh? And this is my opinion episode, right? This is my opinion. This is my opinion. But yeah. You love who you love, and what are you gonna do? You love what you love. Hopefully you don't love something that's dangerous, like uh like fentanyl or something like that. Um or but don't get it twisted. Those addicts, they love that, right? There's no harder worker than an addict, a drug addict. They want to get their fix. That's how much they love it, right? They love it. Yeah. Master Creator with a comment: love and unconditional love are two separate entities. Okay. Break that down. Unpack that, sir. What you mean by that? That I get what you're saying. Yeah, what do you mean by that? Two different entities. Yeah, love and yeah, love is. I guess in that case, love is something that you really like something a lot. Unconditional love means you love it at all costs. Right? No conditions. Conditional love. This love, I guess, is conditional love. I love you if you don't fuck me over. Yeah. I have conditional love. I won't love you at the moment if you do something fucked up to me. Yeah. But in the end, I guess, especially with our romantic partners that we our long-term relationships, our wives and husbands, I would hopefully you would have some type of unconditional love for them with some boundaries, of course, attached to it. Yeah. Yeah. That's why like it's like when people break up, be it French close friendship, business partner, but we'll say friendship or lover, it's kind of dumb to talk shit about them, especially publicly, because it's like, dude, you chose them in the first place. Obviously, there was something there, and it's still there, in some respects that you loved about them, that you were strong about, that you felt very strong about. Yeah. Love can change based on circumstances. Unconditional love doesn't change. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Who do you like? What do you love? Like unconditionally, really? Right? I guess my son, definitely. The closest, I guess, would be my wife. However, like, I don't know, man. Like, if she did something like really fucked up, though, I guess, yeah, I do love her unconditionally. It doesn't matter, mean I won't want to be with her anymore, but I probably would still have love for her. So, thank God that she doesn't done anything like crazy. We didn't have to go there. Yeah, your mother for sure. That's interesting about love. Okay, mothers. We want to love our mother. We love our mother like, and our mother loves us, especially as sons, in a special way that only the mother can love us like that, right? She don't even love a father like she loves like her son or daughter. Yeah, her children, right? But us men, a lot of us men, maybe not all of us, but some of us, we want our uh, our romantic partner to love us like our mom, not in the Oedipus complex way, maybe, but more in a yeah, like unconditionally throughout the bat, like the way the mom will just get up in the middle of the night for her son when they're sick, or make them a meal when they're tired, or just love us no matter what, even when we're acting like a punk sometimes. But your wife is never gonna, or a girlfriend's probably not gonna love you like that. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that she can't love you in even more epic ways than that. It's just it won't be in that motherly love. That's not fair to her to do that, to expect that, but we still want it, some of us. Especially some of us who had like me, who had like a cancer mom. My mom was such a cancer that she died of cancer. That's a fucked up joke, but it's true. She was totally nurturing, always digging me up and stuff like that, love bombing me. But I didn't really get that with my wife. She love bombed me in other ways, so for sure, it's not the same way. And it can be frustrating if you're stuck on that paradigm of love, of wanting the mother's love at all costs. Uh, that's why I think some of these guys, like I hear them on the panels, they go like, they go like Imperious. I think he was saying it. A mother can't love you. I mean, a woman can never love you, right? Well, I have a feeling like he's talking about that way a mother loves the son. Of course, she cannot. Doesn't mean she can't love you. It's just not in that way. Right? It's just not in that way. That same way. But they take it as that's the only love. Where they say the Greeks have different names of love back in the day. They have different names of love, eros and logos, all that. Master Creator, if you blessed to find another person to love you unconditionally, I think that's the super. Yeah, that's super dope for sure. For sure. And to be able to recognize that, that's dope. Because some people may have it and they don't recognize it till it's too late or never. They don't appreciate that. Snow with the comment, my little brother married a woman just like my mother, just the liberal version of my mom. Wow. That's cool. Yeah. Maybe I maybe I married the another version of my wife, of my mom, my wife. She is. I mean, that's why she found me because hey, if I'm another version of her dad, props to me, bro, because he was I never met him personally because he passed away by the time. From the stories I heard and the people that he lives through, the students and whatnot, grad students and whatnot, uh, he was a deacon too. That's a big compliment, right? So I'll take that for sure. Eros, Phila, Storage, and agape, four kinds of Greek love. Thank you. I knew you were going to be Johnny on the spot with that, Miss Alexander. Agape. I remember at my high school, my Jesuit high school, agape. That was a word they used a lot for one of the clubs or one of the movements or whatever. Like a spiritual love, men for others type of love. Yeah. Oh, it's 102. Let me drop the link. Get through this. 11:41. Okay. There's the link. If somebody wants to come up, you're more than welcome. There you go. What are the four definitions of Greek way of living? Agape is God's love. That's what it is. Okay. That makes sense that it would be at my Jesuit high school. They would talk about that. God's love. Yeah. How about the other one? Phila. Phyla. Phyla love meaning affectionate love. The type of love that involves friendship. The kind of love that strong friends feel towards you. Oh, yeah. Phyla, Master Creator. Love for you, dog. And Shadow. And Snow. Yeah. And Alexander. Leopard. Yeah. Bex. Crazy Mama. Jeremy. Ozzy. Yeah. Reg. Ragamuffin Visions. Oh, yeah, all y'all. For sure. Phyla. Storage is comfort love of what's familiar. Wow. Okay. Comfort love, huh? This is dope. Natural familiar love between a parent and a child. Yeah, I can see that. Just love, just love white. Yeah, friendship love. Good to see you. Much love. Always a pleasure. Uh, I need to get over to your broadcast, Jess. I'm being a punk. I need to get over there. Uh, yeah. Those all Eros. What's Eros? Eros is erotic love. That's the one, huh? Erotic love. That's the one. Lust and all that type of stuff. Erotic love. Kama Sutra. Uh, sex magic. Yeah, the good stuff. Very dope. What's the next topic? That's love. Immigration. Immigration. That's a big one. Immigration. Yeah, we need to take care of our borders. Need to come over here. Need to come to America in a legal fashion and whatnot. Definitely. Just like I had to have all my paperwork in order to come here in Taiwan to get my residence and whatnot. Yeah, that's my opinion. You need to have that. Just don't let anybody up in here. However, with that said, there's a reason why these immigrants, so-called illegal aliens, are coming over because they're trying to escape a lot of times a horrible situation in their homeland, which is probably hard enough to leave already. So I can understand why they would want to come over here and whatnot. And I ain't mad at them when they do get um, benefits, even though like when I was like down and out, but living in my car for a minute, I couldn't even get food stamps because I was like a working homeless. They said I made too much money in my job, you know. Even though I had a family still, I was married. It was it was tough. Uh, when we just got married, like, but we couldn't get. My wife ended up getting it for a minute for us, the food stamps or whatever, well, maybe for like a month or something like that, till we got back on our feet. Uh, but I couldn't get it. Yet there's so-called illegal immigrants getting food stamps, money on their EBT cards, cash, Section 8 and all that shit. But hey, bro, the way I look at it now is if they need it, they need it. Illegal or not, in the sense that they're struggling. We have a lot here. So even though a lot of people don't have a lot here that are natives of Americans from America, I don't mind. I don't mind those immigrants taking the social services sometimes. I just don't want you to like fucking, like I said, relying on that. It's supposed to be a temporary catalyst to help you get where you need to go, right? There's a reason why people are coming over here, you know. Alexander with a comment. That's crazy. I live in a rural. It's heartbreaking with kids who have no water, bathing in a creek that's icy in January. Yeah, that's wild. Mm. I messed up your stream earlier. Yeah, we'll be back at it again, I'm sure. You're a prolific streamer, epic legend, Just White. Yeah, it's hard enough to like when my gas tank is out and I have to take a cold shower here in January, let alone in a creek. It's funny when you have those rich folks, they take a bath with the ice bath, the Wim Hof therapy. Yeah, they do that. These kids are doing it not even on purpose, right? I mean, because they have to do it. Yeah. So that's my deal on immigration. Uh, uh, I'm gonna immigrate here in Taiwan, basically. It's not easy, you know. It ain't easy, man. Once you live outside the country, you'll see. I would hope that you would be a little bit more patient with people who don't speak English in America right off the bat. Shit, I barely know Chinese, man, and people here are so fucking cool in a sense. They're like, "Oh, you said a couple words. Oh, your Chinese is so good." Right? They go on their way. Yeah. I definitely gained perspective living outside the country. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Leopard Print NPC with the comment. I'm behind, but I got love for you. Yeah. I know you do. You're the best, Leopard Print. Let's see. You'll get there. Let's see. Oh, Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk. What is he? A South African? He's an African, right? Technically. He's a South African that supposedly his father made money off diamond mines or emerald mines or something in Africa. Been played off like he's the salt of the earth. Went to college in America. Supposedly ran a illegal casino there. Um, Bought PayPal. Made a lot of money. Invested it in Solar City, which I used to work right next to. Did Tesla. Got a lot of great engineers, but I don't know if he actually came up with ideas about ideas. He does definitely. I guess he knows how to hire the right people, make them make the purchases at the right time of the companies when it's beneficial to him. But I mean, he's okay. He ain't that. I do think it's weird that I don't know how long he's been an American citizen, but he's basically number 2 man in command in the Masonic Sorcerer Theater for America. You know, some people are saying that he's telling Trump what to do or whatnot. That Doge, the Department of Efficiency thing he does, is definitely shaking it up. A lot of people have lost their jobs in the federal system over it, right? He's benefited off his role already. You know, I mean, I think he made money. Trump, he had to give Trump. Well, he had to give Trump money the other day. Twitter, when Trump sued Twitter, so he gave him like $10 million. But Elon Musk supposedly is not taking any a salary, but he's definitely probably getting benefits or will get benefits in his position he is now. Probably in the billions, you know. But kind of weird seeing that billionaires have people's best interests. This is when we mean the Waking Wizard, aka Justin Dimitri show from the Netherlands. We talked about it. Like, what if these so-called elites, Illuminati, even though you're the illuminated ones too as well, what if the Illuminati is actually doing their best to make the world a better place in their own way? That could be, right? And Justin would say, and look, they earned it. They're working hard to do what they did, right? That may be the case. However, just because they have the best people with the best intentions, sometimes still fuck up shit. Like, you may have like a kid, your daughter and her big brother make a Mother's Day or Father's Day breakfast in bed, pancakes, but they ended up making the pancakes taste like, oof, just awful. But then the kitchen's all messed up. They had the best intentions, right? But they didn't work out. They didn't work out the way they planned. But what do we say? Always, we say it was the thought that counts. So you can say that about the so-called elites, social engineers. Even though this world seems to be fucked up in a lot of ways because of their practices, you can say it was the thought that counts. Yeah. Come on, from Elon Musk. From Alexander, South Africa raised when apartheid was still a thing, but his mom is kind of badass. Oh, yeah. Yeah, apartheid, yeah. That was, shoot, talk about segregation. Yeah, definitely. Apartheid. That wasn't that long ago either. His mom is badass. Yeah, what did she do? School us. Elon Musk's mom. I think his dad married his stepdaughter recently. Yeah. She holds Canadian, South African, and American um, citizenship. Well, she looks pretty kind of like she could have been a model or something. Uh, she's a dietitian. Technocracy movement. Okay. She's into some shit, I guess. Some good things. Okay. So Elon Musk, I all got some friends over there. One of my other correspondence groups. They love Elon Musk. One of my friends. He loves Elon Musk, and over the Ty in DC. Yeah, shout out to Ty. Yeah, SpaceX and all that. He's cool. Maybe Ozzy Mendez from the Watchmen in real life, but he nothing really too special to me. Yeah, I respect the fact that he has a lot of money, influence. I like power dynamics. I see power where it's at. Yeah. Whoa, what's going on, Master Creator? What's up, bro?
Let me fix my mic real fast, though. Hold on.
Let me fix my mic. Yeah. Yeah. So talking about this Elon Musk. Shit. Yeah. Who we got? Let me see. So yeah, I saw Elon Musk. Yeah, keep an eye on him. Right. He just had that. He just had that meeting with Trump and Hannity in the Oval Office. That was interesting talk. He always does that mudra with his hand. It looks like a vagina. The yoni, with his hands open, like wide open. Yeah. Okay, what's up, Creator?
How this cheap ass mic sound? It sound cool.
It sounds good. It's yeah. There's a little background hiss, but we can work with it. Yeah, yeah. So we're talking about Elon Musk. What's your thoughts? Any thoughts on Elon?
Elon Crest.
Yeah, Elon Crest. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I ain't got really nothing bad to say about dude.
yeah,
He doing his
yeah.
thing. You know, if I was born in his situation, I'd probably be doing the exact same shit. No
Yeah,
lie.
He seems like he doing what he feels is right. You know, for humanity, I guess himself and humanity, which he's a part of. Unless he's a lizard person. Yeah, but yeah. But have you heard about this Doge? It's like an acronym for like this government efficiency department that he's ahead of now in the White House.
It ain't the same thing as that Doge coin he came out with, or he was
No, Doja Cat. No, it's like that thing where he's trying to trim the fat from the government agencies that have wasted a lot of money. So a lot of people have been fired. A lot of programs are being deleted that used to get like government funding and whatnot. Yeah. So that's what he's been doing and all that. Yeah. Yeah. What you got a back with?
Is it effective though?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be talking off my ass saying if I did because I haven't really investigated. All I know is what I hear from other people and the little things I've seen on the news. Some people say it's been the greatest thing ever. Other people say it's horrible. You know, just like the Trump and the diversity hire. You heard about that, right? Diversity hires,
Yeah, I
like
heard
how,
about that.
yeah, getting rid of that and like affirmative action type stuff. Yeah.
In your
Hey, what you
opinion,
think about that?
was that a good thing or a bad thing? In your opinion, though,
In my
what you
opinion,
think?
I think it was a bad thing for the people that lost their jobs, definitely. But I don't think it's that serious in the sense that the people that got hired, they didn't know, they were so incompetent that they knew nothing about the job they were doing. I would hope to think that they, at least knew the
Yeah,
bare minimum, at least, right?
I feel
Yeah,
like that's the picture they painted. That's the
yeah,
picture they painted just so they could put that through or get that law through.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. And they keep using the wording, the wording like Trump would say, and people that are Trump supporters, they always say like, the most incompetent people are, for example, are running the air traffic control. This is why they all these plane crashes are happening. Yeah, which one just happened like a little while ago in Tucson? Two planes crashed into each
Yeah,
other.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's deeper than that. I feel like
Mhm.
whatever we're up against, they kind of got something going on to where they're like, we got control of y'all planes, and on this date, I'll show you, kind of thing. And basically, on every date, they're showing like planes go down or whatever, because they're trying to tell them like, the technology y'all use that we gave y'all, we actually got full control of that. And if y'all don't give us the
Right.
money, man, we gonna flip every plane in this motherfucker. That's what I think. I'm just,
You
I'm
think
weird
so?
like that. Yeah, I'm weird
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. I just feel like they playing they little chess move right now.
Yeah. When you say they, who are you referring to?
The motherfuckers, the elites, the motherfuckers with
Yeah.
power, the
Uh huh.
motherfuckers that kind of set it up like that to the
Yeah.
point where the ones that work in the shadows, man. No,
Yeah.
I might be
The
tripping
the
though.
hidden hand, the social engineers, Masonic sorcerer theater. Yeah, but you're right because like it's kind of weird. Like all of a sudden, all these plane crashes were happening when every day there's like probably hundreds of flights, maybe
Yeah,
thousands of flights going on,
yeah.
or
That
all
used to
around
be
the
like
world.
the rarest thing to happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? To the
Yeah.
point where just as the year started, we already got four or five of them incidents, and it's kind of like I don't know, man. It's deeper than what they telling us. That's what I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, but we only can go off the You heard the Occam's razor thing, where it's like Occam's razor is you you hold the theory that's the most probable without all the variables. You know, the most likely to happen. Because nowadays, a lot of people will go straight to the most like craziest theory off the bat
Yeah.
instead of like what's going on. But I don't think it. I don't. I don't think
That
it's that
theory
far
only
off to
stands
think
for
that
me.
people were manipulating the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That theory only stands strong to me is because like as Americans, we're actually at war with hella other countries. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
And it's kind of like, if they do want to start using their power, shit, they will.
Yeah.
And
At
I
any
feel like it's
moment.
only been happening out here,
Right.
unless y'all could tell me about it happening somewhere else.
I,
Shit, I don't know.
nah. No, I haven't heard anything out in Taiwan or China, um, or Japan or Korea. Wait. The only thing I heard was maybe like last month, a Korean plane crash. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that could be like a little move that they're saying it ain't us because you see it's happening to us too. So
Hmm.
mark us off the list that we're doing it. I
Yeah.
don't know. It could be a play like that, or
People on the
it happened to Korea too. The same people that's bullying us on the low probably doing the same
yeah.
thing in Korea.
Right. Yeah. Did you see the other day like a plane flipped over upside down in Toronto?
I think I
I don't know if you
did.
saw that.
I
Yeah,
did.
it was literally upside down, dog, like that Denzel Washington movie where he was
Crazy.
drunk flying the plane upside down, so it wouldn't
And, and
crash.
and I ain't gonna lie, that pilot did that. He was actually Denzel in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he could have saved
Because
people's
if
life.
yeah, he did, didn't he? He saved
Yeah,
a whole lot of people's lives.
it wouldn't died. No one died. Yeah, so yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So he
Whatever
did
he
his
did
Denzel
worked.
thing in real life. You know
Yeah,
what
minus the Smirnoff vodka
I'm saying?
and the orange juice. Yeah. Yeah, so like the whole Elon Trump shit. One thing about Trump that I didn't mention is uh I think it's crazy the fact that he's fucking with the Israel shit, like the Gaza.
Yeah. I don't know,
The
man.
Yeah, because he said he wants to turn it into a resort over there, the Gaza Strip, to relocate those Palestinians somewhere else.
I just feel like, when you're in power, like you're still a human being, so you're gonna say all types of crazy shit, do all types of crazy shit. It's like, these are the guys in power right now. So
Yeah.
shit.
But you probably been like, I don't know, I think like it's been like 7 different presidents since I was born. Maybe for you like 4 or 5, right? Um Has shit really changed though, you think, for you or a majority of your peers? Who no matter who's the president is?
Nah, it's really we're in a cycle. I feel
Uh
like we're in a cycle because like what's going on today, I feel like it was going on in the '80s out here. Where it
yeah.
was hella homeless people, hella people strung out on drugs.
Oh, you're
You
right,
know
bro.
what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like a repeat. Like damn,
Yeah.
you can't really tell the difference except for the technology you look at. Like, well, that's kind of newer. That's kind of newer. But if
Uh-huh.
this was alive and well in the '80s, this is how it would look like.
Yeah. I got you too, what you're saying, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. Think about this. Yesterday or 2 days ago, Jelly Roll testified against uh testified on Congress for this fentanyl bill, right? Which to me, you know what it sounds like, creator? It sounds like the DARE program and the whole, you get more time for rocked up cocaine than
Yeah.
powder cocaine. They're
Same
trying to do
dope,
this shit
different name, man. Same dope,
exactly,
different name.
exactly. So if you have a little bit of fentanyl, your ass is going away for a long time if this shit passes.
But
You know?
I feel like, if it's killing people like how it's killing, it is like a deadly thing. So I don't know, man. They try to make it
Yeah.
make sense, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
still, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It just
That's
seems
one of
like
them
Trump
I
is
don't
different.
know.
I don't know, huh? There's a lot of those I don't know what's really going on. That's why I say it's my opinion, you know? Because I was listening to that Mac Mull song earlier when I was at the gym, and I was like, shit, it's true. Everything's an opinion, really, huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then like basically what's going on is all the opinions of others. Reason
Yeah.
why these laws are changing. These are the opinions though. They're alive and well.
Yeah.
Yours just might be different. But all of ours is really gonna be different, because if you was running this shit, you would probably run it way different.
Oh, yeah,
Or
definitely.
think you could, because at the end of the day, you don't know what they're going through also. It's like one of those
Right.
things you can't even see. Like, why is he moving like that? Maybe it's because, they'll really murk him if he moved different type shit.
Oh, the Trumper? Trumpelstiltskin?
All of them.
Yeah.
Everybody in
All of them.
power. I just feel
Well,
like,
yeah, that's what's funny to me. Like, I guess I'll flex my genetics. Like, literally, my great grandfather was the president of Mexico, and his party was called the Revolutionary Party. Everyone wants to talk about their revolutionary and all this shit, right? He was the Revolutionary Party in Mexico, and he was assassinated for his
yeah,
beliefs and stuff once he
yeah,
was president. Literally assassinated,
yeah,
Not that Trump shit where the bullet goes by his ear, bro. They took him
yeah.
out, man.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like,
yeah.
if you think of all of the greats back then, everybody that was trying to do shit more positive, more better,
Hmm.
create a heaven for everybody on earth type shit instead of like a halfway hell or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Like the ones that try to have it like that basically got knocked off. And,
Right. Yeah.
if you
Do you
do
think
it the
Pac was
right
one of
way,
them?
and definitely because they knew how much power he had and they knew how much his voice was actually changing shit.
Right.
It was like that natural thing that certain people have, and they had to knock him off.
Yeah. Do you think Kendrick or Nipsey would have that vibe? The great Nipsey and Kendrick? Or anybody else in the music you can come to mind or not?
Man, it's like when you just name Nipsey and all of them, you just got to think of like the same equation, like they had the
Uh-huh.
power or they were coming into power.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But shit happens every day too, though. So, it's always a 50-50, man.
Yeah.
It's just
What's your
our
thoughts?
opinions.
Opinion. What's your
Hold
thoughts
on,
on
bro. I'm going to get back in the chat, bro. I have to take this
uh
quick break, but I'm going to get back in
all
the
right,
chat,
bro.
bro. For sure,
I
bro.
appreciate you, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We did the war on drugs. That's perfect. We just talked about our opinion on war on drugs. The war on drugs is it's pointless. It's not working. It's not doing what I guess it's supposed to do. When you're on the war on drugs, from the government's perspective, we're supposed to win it, try to eradicate drugs, but it didn't work. Right? It just put a lot of people in prison, and a lot of people got killed on the street over it. Yeah. Check out The Wire if you want a good look at it, or The Corner. Read the book or watch the. It's free on the and it's free on the damn YouTube. The Corner. All right. You want to you want to see? I mean, yeah, it's a fucking TV show, but you want to see what it's like, the life of a junkie and how it affects the whole family. Yeah. You want to see Gary's Blues, or the father, or his son DeAndre's Blues, or his mom's Blues. That's the war on drugs. I'll put it on the chat and tell me what you think about it. I'm damn near going to do a whole series about this. College courses use this in criminology. The corner right there. Check it out. That's where The Wire came from. The day in the life of a neighborhood ravaged by the war on drugs. Yeah. The war on drugs is stupid. But it's a war on your consciousness. Don't get me wrong. Certain drugs do destroy families and whatnot. But yeah, the war on drugs is not working. That's my opinion on that. Well, parenting. What's my view on parenting? Well, look at the episode of myself and Look Within. Shout out to the great Look Within, the legend, on how we talk about parenting. Right. My view on parenting is ever changing and evolving. My view on parenting is give your child be conscious of your YouTube channel if you're a creator. YouTube creator, and this can be one of their ways they can learn about you and themselves and what you were dealing with and going through when you're parenting them. My view and opinion on parenting is that we're here to guide and protect our children as they guide and protect us too, in a sense. They were the last ones that were on the other side, if you may. So in a lot of ways, they're older than us. Especially if you're a younger parent, right? If our family consciousness and purpose here on Earth is going in a certain direction, right? That family purpose of genetics are a part of the larger collective consciousness, right? But your family genetics are a fraction, a facet of that whole collective consciousness, or oversoul, right? And then when you have a new child in your family, that child becomes the purest representation of your family genetics purpose for the whole meta soul, right? So that child is the purest form of what you're supposed to do as a parent, as you were the purest form when you were born for your parents of what your family genetics is supposed to do. So my view on parenting is you look to the child as the North Star, and instead of pulling them towards you and trying to get them to do everything you say like a robot from the boomer age, 1950s, you go towards them with your awareness and care and guidance, and try to bridge the gap between y'all, so you can figure out what by being there for them. They're telling you what you need to do as an evolving human being, living out their time here as a soul with flesh. Basically, the child is the guide, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying be a hands-off parent, let them play in the gutter with shit. No, but you can be conscious of the fact of what they're trying to show us, right? By being aware of what they want in life and being aware of what they're doing, right? While you show them things that you want to impart on them, right? So they can be the best version of themselves. Because what they're doing is they're your family genetics out in the flesh, the purest form, right? They're there as an example, what to do, right? So that's what that is, parenting 101. What are my thoughts on adultery? Don't do it. It's ugly. Especially don't do it if you're not discreet. And it's ugly if you really feel. Would you want that be done to you? That's the question too. No. So don't do it. to your partner. And if you really don't want to be, if you, I'll say it like this, if you really want to be with somebody else, really want to be with someone, because I get it, man. There's beautiful, attractive people all over the place, and even from a deeper level, things that are attractive on in an inner way, person that can get you to want to go outside your relationship or your marriage, right? However, think about the consequences. And if you really feel pulled to do that, at least break up with your current partner so you don't look goofy doing adultery. It's uncomfortable, man. People used to get stoned to death for that. People still do, right? What are my thoughts on the Panelverse? Don't do it. No, the Panelverse is the Panelverse is actually not just these network of people that we know in this small section of YouTube. It's not just it's not just NPC the game or Resla, Mel, Flow State, Sarah, Caucasian Sasquatch, Jess White. It's not just that. Paul and Slave, Jack Telcott, London Man. It's not just that. Bex, right? That is actually what we are calling the all of the above sector of the Panelverse, which is a subsection of the actual Panelverse, because the Panelverse is actually any broadcast or channel on YouTube that uses live panels, right? And that's huge. There's probably like thousands of channels like that, right? Thousands of channels, right? Maybe tens of thousands of channels of the Panelverse. The subsection of that Panelverse, which you call the Panelverse, actually is not the Panelverse, but a galaxy of the Panelverse, if we're going to use that metaphor, which our solar system, which we call the all of the above sector. The all of the above sector is changing and expanding in its own way. Well, hopefully it doesn't get stagnated, right? And I think the NPC Panelverse Awards, notice I say NPC Panelverse, not just Panelverse Awards, is actually a way to get the all of the above sector of a catalyst for more creativity, more entertainment, more education, more audience and participation, and more people just being more engaged about what they're doing in the present moment here online on YouTube. But the Panelverse is huge, and every time either a chatter or a creator goes out and explores a new panel that's not in the all of the above sector, you bring it back and expand the consciousness of the panel of the of our panel section of the Panelverse galaxy called the all of the above sector. But the Panelverse is actually a universe unto itself, right? I have to say, as I talk about the Panelverse, people drop off. And this is what the Panelverse is doing. It's becoming stagnated. Or the all of the above sector, right? In some spaces. I owe it to the Benjamin, this who this channel is for, Benjamin and his friends, and his culture of excellence. And myself, right? It's also for me too, I guess, and y'all, to try to, to not try to create content that's entertaining and informative, right? And shows you something that can help you in your life, helping me in my life. This is art therapy, right? They say the Panelverse is, I say the Panelverse is therapy. Well, this is art therapy. Expression. instead of ruminating about some shit you don't like, use it as art therapy, as a way to create things you do like. Right? That's the conspiracy. The conspiracy theories. That's what I think about conspiracy theories, are just ideas that are out of my pay grade, in a sense that I don't have time anymore to look at them like I used to. Seriously, I can now. Don't get me wrong. A lot of those conspiracies may be happening or whatnot, but I'm here to focus on what's really going on here in my circle of influence. Right here, the biggest conspiracy is the fact that a lot of you all, are holding on to this false sense of self as yourself, and never take an L. Never want to take an L. Right? Never want to go out on a limb and whatnot. Right? Because you hold on to this false sense of self instead of being in the present. Be in the present. You will not hold on to this false sense of self if you're being in the present, engaged in what you're doing at the gym, listening on a panel, creating a video edit, playing a Fortnite game with your son, playing basketball with your homies, drinking wine and watching movies with your girlfriends. It's like, be engaged in what you're doing. When sweeping up in front of the store, be engaged in what you're doing. You'll truly be present, and you'll be going against the biggest conspiracy there is, which is your attachment to this thing you call the self. Right? There's more going on. That's consciousness. Being here now. That's what consciousness is. When you die, you will see what consciousness really is. Yeah. When they say death, A.A. Rashid says, death is a virtue, huh? Some of us have mini deaths every day. That we're closing on these paradigms that we used to hold, and these opinions that we made as paradigms that weren't serving us, that we're putting to rest, and having a funeral for all of them. I'm putting to rest. This is what this has been. This is what happens after you, quote unquote, die. This broadcast. It's called My Opinion. Well, my opinion is, I'm putting all these opinions that haven't been serving me to rest, only to be reborn again like the phoenix out of the ashes, to shit on all y'all that deserve it, and to love all of y'all that need that love. Peace. NBC The Game. Thank you for being here.
I'ma go raw. I'ma go raw. I'ma go raw. Just met the bitch at the club. Bitch just gave me a hug. I don't give a fuck. I'ma fuck my thug. Took that bitch to the hood. Fuck that bitch. Raw. I'ma go raw. I'ma go raw. I'ma go raw. Met this bitch at the mall. Me and that bitch had a ball. Real nigga got that call. Just suck my dick to the ball. I'ma go raw. I'ma go raw. Met this bitch at the stop. I ain't even know she was a hoe. She done fucked on my motherfucking bro. I ain't even motherfucking up. I'ma go raw. Damn little bitch, you a ticky. Goddamn, was that your friend? Bitch, let me come ugly. Tryna fuck you and your 20. I'ma go raw. 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 One bad let me go. Gave her real nigga, she done late. Raw. I'ma go raw. Damn bitch, what's your name? Know that science. Motherfucker off. Peace.